Well, hello everybody, it's Richard here, and another broadcast from the workshop out in the grounds of the house near Maidstone, and it's an absolute splendid day today. We've had a few showers this morning, but the weather's actually started to buck up a bit. I have to say, I was hoping to get rid of my jumper, as you probably see, but I mean it is quite cool out of the sun, and the last few days have been a bit, on and off really in some respects. We've had sunshine and then of course it's cooled off, so you sort of think, oh, I'll go and have a cup of tea in the garden, and in the process end up going back in the house. In fact, I put the gas fire on last night and had the coal effect nicely looking at me, because I just couldn't sit there any longer without any heating on. And here we are in May, hoping that the summer's arrived, and keep looking at the weather forecast, our national obsession here in the UK. So this afternoon I was going to do a couple of things actually. I've got some things to show you this afternoon, and then I'm going to do another part of the JVC A11. SLA11 I think it is, record deck that I've been working on. And to finish off with, I've actually got something new arrived by my homies this morning, which is the postal service that seems to be gathering pace. I have to say that my homies undercut a lot of the other postal services quite well, and my friend River from Hastings has been using them, and obviously have found that they take a little longer to get things to people, but are obviously a little bit cheaper. For 10, I think it works out for about 10 kilograms. It's something like 7 or 8 quid, and that's with a sign, £1 extra for signing. So clearly these private postal services are quite a challenge to Royal Mail. But at the end of the day, the cost of reducing what you sell on eBay, if that's what it means, then by all means, that's the buyer's market, isn't it? Anyway, not to waffle on too much, on the last broadcast I may have mentioned I was going up to London on the Memory Lane walk. Now, Memory Lane, I haven't got the magazine with me, but you've probably seen from my previous postings, Memory Lane is an organisation that keeps alive the memory of El Bowley and the dance band years, and I was hoping to go up to the Memory Lane walk round the Café Paris and all the other sites that the dance bands played during the 20s and 30s and 40s. Unfortunately, I got all the way to the station, West Malling Station, which is my local station to where I live, and unfortunately somebody had jumped out in front of the train, and clearly that delayed everything, and at Otford, so all the trains were obviously cancelled or delayed, and several came in and just only went as far as the next station up, which I think was Borough Green. So I didn't get there, and I apologise to those of you who were expecting me. I know that Peter and Neil were expecting me to turn up. I did actually manage to get hold of them through my Facebook site, and also privately to say that I was delayed and wouldn't make it. Sad to say, but Neil did put some very nice photographs on Facebook, which was great, Neil, and thank you very much for that. So there's a bit of a personal message out there for those people that know me more personally, as they say. Anyway, I've been on holiday the last week. Today's Friday, and so had a good old route around the charity shops of my local county town of Maidstone, and I came across a few gems. But before then, I'm just going to share with you a couple on the HMV Red Label. Now, those of you who know labels a little bit like I do knows that HMV had and this is one of them, you can just about see there, had a series of labels, and the Red Label was the highest quality, according to a book I've read and got in recently. And this is my great friend Glenn Miller, and this is Slow Freight, a foxtrot by him. I haven't actually played these yet, to be honest. I'm going to have to dig out one of my many gramophones and have a play. On the second side, it's Bugle Call Rag, which of course I do like. So that's another. And this record, look, you can see there's got a really good shine on it. So clearly been well cared for. And I've been lucky recently to come across a few records that have been looked after, which is nice, isn't it? So that obviously somebody's perhaps passed away, and their collection has been given to charity. The second one in the same series, A Moonlight Serenade, of course one of his famous, and also American Patrol on the back. again on the red label HMV, with a lovely shine on this. Recently I've just been cleaning my 78s by using just ordinary washing up liquid and a very soft sponge, and I've just been using ordinary Waitrose Essential washing up liquid, good old plug for Waitrose, John Lewis partnership, but it does actually work quite well. I mean, I have got some of the mixture that Mark, one of my YouTube subscribers, has put together and using ammonia, and that's fine, but I just find it's just as easy because it cleans them off very well. Then I was very lucky by going into the PDSA charity shop in Maidstone, and I was looking through some 78s they had there. Nothing really caught my eye, and the manager came out and said, "Oh, are you interested in 78s?" I said, "Oh yeah, have you got any more?" He said, "Yeah, I've got a whole shed load at the back." So he brought out this massive pile, and I was spent sort of an hour on my knees going through some of these, and I've come across this one. This is by Webster Booth and Anne Ziegler, and I haven't played these either, but Love Steals Your Heart, and on the other side We'll Gather Lilacs, which of course is, as you know, I'm a great Ivor Novello fan, and of course that's one of Ivor's favourites, or one of his most famous ones. Jack Bayfield is the orchestra on here, so I'm looking forward to playing. These actually are in really good nick, actually, so I'm really pleased about that. I've managed to find one of the white covers. I went on eBay actually to see whether I could actually find some 78 covers, and discovered that it's actually at a premium. You pay quite a lot. So these ones here I just got for 10-inch records, and I've made they're as good as, really, for when you think of storage. Second one is Morning Glory, and by Webster Booth, and the chorus accompanied by the Adelphi Theatre Orchestra, so I'm sure that's going to sound nice, and Sweet Yesterday as well, so on there, so that's quite nice. I've discovered Webster Booth, and he recently he's really what I call a quintessential English tenor, really, so then I found a real treasure, or at least I haven't played it yet, but I'm sure it's going to sound, because it's my favourite, Geraldo and his orchestra, and this is vocalists by the Carol Carr and Three Boys and a Girl. I don't know who they are, but Let Him Go, Let Him Tarry, and on the B side is I Begged Her, Foxtrot. So again, very nice. Let me just show you, this is in quite good condition too, so nice shine on that, so I'm really looking forward to that. As you say, these are going for quite a premium price now, about £1 nearly, 99p I paid for these, so I didn't buy that many. Pocket money ran out pretty quickly. This one is The Golden Song from Lilac Time by Webster, and Anne Ziegler again, and also The Flower from Lilac Time. So having been a fan of that particular musical, I quite like that, so I'll have to play some of these and give you a rendition on the old wind-up. And I've got one of those. I've got a couple of projects on wind-ups coming up soon. And I'll Walk Beside You. And the second one is Masquerader, is it? Yes, Webster Booth. It might be. My pronunciation sometimes goes a bit off key, so you probably gather from my other postings occasionally. But at least I'm honest about it. There we go. Looking really good. So, and actually came in some nice brown envelopes, and then there were some ones in some quite nice, what I call, proper card. This one is the Squadronaires, each to his own, and on the B side, In Love in Vain, so from Continental Summer, and so yes, and each of their own was Livingston Evans, inspired by the film The Squadronaires, directed by Jimmy Miller, and vocalist is by the same Jimmy Miller. So on the Decca label, and in quite a good nick, so I'm looking forward to playing that. So again, I gave it a good wash and scrub up yesterday. So what else we got here? Hope nobody's getting bored with all these, but some of you may. Right, Jay Welber and his band. I found one of these. Now I know that John Wright plays these on his programme on the Memory Lane broadcast and if you go to the Memory Lane website and you're interested in band music, then you can tune in, and he does a weekly one, and also he's on the website on the Facebook site there, so I often tune into that. There's Rain in My Eyes, and also When Mother's Nature Sings Her Lullaby. There's a waltz on that, so looking forward to playing that because I don't really know him. John Wright's got me interested in some of those, so in the background as it were. And then I found in my local charity shop a White Christmas by Bing Crosby, so I couldn't really resist that. You've got to have that, even if you've got it on LP, you really should have that on there. So let's start the new year right. Well, I quite agree with that. Unfortunately, they put the price tab right over the blasted label, and you know, I really wish they wouldn't do that. For God's sake, or make them so they come off. It's really hard getting these things off otherwise. And I didn't tear it, but it had been down the shop, because they have some shops, because they've had such thefts now, they're putting a special label which then they have to register back to the till, and that's where they take it off. Billy Cotton is banned, The Rocking Horse Cowboy, and Just Walking in the Rain, so I'm sure that'd be quite nice. Again, I always like these covers because somebody's written it and Josh Gibbons on there, whoever Josh Gibbons were or was. And so these paper ones, these cardboard, must have been at some time the standard format for these, because this one's falling apart, but very nice all the same. And then at the PDSA shop I found some 10-inch. In fact, I found a lot of 10-inch, but I could only run out of money by that time. But before we get to that stage, I actually found in my local Hospice of Hope charity shop just up the road, Kenton, the new concepts. Okay, so and on here some really nice numbers. We've got here 23 degrees north, 82 degrees west, Portrait of the Count, Improvisation, Intervention for guitar and trumpet, My Lady, Young Blood, and Frank Speaking. You know, these are all numbers on here, and the Austerity Rhythm in Rhythm. Quite a nice number, that. But down at PDSA, I came across Victor Sylvester. Now I know that some of you like Victor Sylvester. This is the number 10, and I've got I think it's 8 and 6. So I just need to find the other numbers in between. But some really nice numbers on here. Anything Goes, If I Should Fall in Love Again, You're My Everything. And it's been well looked after and kept out of the light, because it's still quite that light colour. Sometimes they go a bit yellow, but there's old Victor there and doing his bit. And then I came across a very nice Glenn Miller. Now, taking into account this is the 1950s these 10-inch were produced. Glenn Miller, of course, had been dead a little short time. So this is Time for Melody, this one's called, and Glenn Miller and his orchestra, long playing. And like usual, the edges get damaged, but the music on here is really nice. A Nightingale Singing in Berkeley Square, and we've got Ray Elba singing on here, and I've got some of these on a world record collection, but they are really very nice. And also There'll Be Bluebirds Over, The White Cliffs of Dover, all the really lovely numbers, slightly off what you normally get, and I think there were some really great numbers on here. Indian Summer, Alice Blue Gown, Her Song, and some really, and there's also some very nice line notes as well, which I thought really went with this. So this one, and it really sounds good. HMV have done a really good job. These are transfers from '78, clearly not from studio recordings, but they are, you know, they are quite good, and the depth of sound of this is really quite interesting. So the next one is the SAFA, Soldier Sailors Air Force Association, and all the proceeds from Searchlight Tattoo at the White City, 1956. That's going back a few years. I played this this afternoon actually, and it's an outside broadcast recording, and you certainly have to turn the volume up to be able to hear anything, because clearly the microphones were obviously round the White City, and you could hear the marching bands moving away. But the side 2 I think is the best, when you've got Voice of the Guns, Post Horn Gallop, and then the Beating the Retreat, Sunset Ceremony, and the Road to the Isles are the final Master Parade. I think they're rather nice, but slightly unusual. And they produced 2 of these. This is the 3rd one apparently. This is the 3rd year they'd recorded, so clearly there was a market for that. And just to finish off with, I found a Tommy Dorsey. Where are we? Tommy Dorsey, the Swinging Big Bands, 1937 to 1946. And this is actually produced in Italy, this record. So, but it's a very nice transfer, and Boogie Woogie, Copenhagen, Lonesome Road, Hawaiian War Chant. It's a really nice numbers if you're into Tommy Dorsey, which I love. I just love his tromboning. It really is good. So it goes along with the swing. And then I came across good old Ted Heath, and of course Ted Heath doing a bit of swinging. So this one's called Ted Heath at the Palladium Final Swings Session. There we go. And to go with that, I've got the Volume 3, which is that one, which again is doing the same thing. And I think there must have been 4, but I can't find anything on eBay, not in this country anyway. They're in America, you can get them, with the other 2 that go with this. King Porter Stump, the Boogie Blues, My Funny Valentine, Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. There's loads of really good numbers on here. And on this, obviously came out during the 50s, and I just can't resist a 50s record, because I think that the vinyl on these is really good. Let me just take it out the packet for you. Sleeve. It's on Decca, on their red label, and it's a really good. It's really been quite well looked after. A few pops and clicks on here, but otherwise very nice. And I've had to repair the covers as always, but obviously somebody's valued these records, and there we go. So just a quick update about records, and what I'll do is I'll switch off now, and then we'll do some more. Anyway, speak to you all in part 2. Take care. Bye.